Brenna Vandersea Libero, senior captain.
Maria Wimpy, senior captain, outside hitter.
Grace Allaire, senior, outside hitter.
Jay Ayen, outside hitter, senior. Paige Weatherby, junior defensive specialist. Abby Rochette, junior, setter.
Quinn Daniels, junior, middle hitter.
Dasha Sadelyeva, junior defensive specialist.
Helen Massa, junior, right side hitter.
Mia Harmon, junior, middle hitter and outside hitter.
Emma Ferguson, freshman, middle.
Kayla Bondra, sophomore, right side.
Hello, Capitol. This is Glenn Matthews with ConcordTV, Channel 6 and Channel 22, Concord Sports Station, along with Tanya Rochette on camera. We're here at Concord High School. The Lady Tide will be taking on the Bedford Bulldogs. Bedford comes in at 4-4. The Lady Tide are 7-1. We're about now ready for the national anthem, and we'll be underway shortly. Well done. Do we know what her name was? Because that was fantastic.
She is Concord's own. I think that's Nikki.
Well, she did a fantastic job. So again, this is Glenn Matthews with Tanya Rochette on camera for Concord TV, Channel 6 and 22. Here at Concord High School, the Lady Tide, 7-1, take on the Bedford Bulldogs at 4-4. The starting lineup for the Tide: Dasha Savilieva, number 4, 8, Abby Rochette, number 9, Paige Weatherby, number 11, Emma Ferguson, number 12, Quinn Daniels, number 20, Maria Wimpy, and number 31, Brenna Vandersea. And for Bedford Bulldogs, we got number 4, Jasmine Attar, number 6, Ramu Tall, number 7, Sophia Guerrera, number 15, Maggie McCool, number 20, Jordan Staris, number 21, Bree Masillo, and number 25, Emily Adams. The Tide are coached by Jonathan Flower and Renee Zobel. Bedford's coached by Anna McGann and Megan Higgins, and we're underway. The Bulldogs score first. We got number 20, Jordan Staris, with her second serve. That's into the net. Point! Tied! And we're all tied up. Tonight's officials are Mike Andruski and Dana Barassa. Vandersea with the serve, drops one in. Up front is the set to the left side. Dropped in there. Nice stop there. Pushed over by the freshman Ferguson. Point! Tie! Double hit by Bedford. Vandersea to serve. Tied up 2-1. Driven to the back row. Point tied. Ace Vandersea. Tide's having a superlative year so far, 7-1. Their only blemish was to who?
Salem.
Salem took them down. They played it. Looked like it was going to be out. Good break there for the Tide. Into the net. Point Tide. Ferguson and Rochette were there for the block. 4-1 Lady Tide. Vandersea drops that into the middle. That's bumped up. The set to the outside. Put down. Vandersea with a great dig there. Oh, Rochette with a big play there. But put right back. Point Bulldogs. Tough play there. Vandersea made a great save on the kill. Went up, got caught up in the rafters there. Rochette came in, made a great save, but it just set the Bulldog to put it down for the kill. Served by the Bulldogs, number 21. Wimpy to Rochette. Rochette to Ferguson. Ferguson drops it in there. Played up there by the Bulldogs. Set to the middle, and that's out. Point Tide. Referees had a little conversation there to make sure. In comes number 27 for the Tide. And I don't have her number. Oh, no, we go. That's Ceylon Aon is in. Rochette to serve. Beautiful serve down the right side. This is set to the outside. Little deep. Into the net. Point Tide. It looked good, but she drove herself into the net. Point goes to the Tide. Serve number 2 for Rochette. She drops that one in there. That's going to be tough. Oh, ace! Point Tide. Abby Rochette. Beautiful serve there. Found the hole in the donut. No one at home. 7-2 Lady Tide. She drives that to the back row. Played up there in the middle. Bumped up to the outside. Pushed over. Weatherby with a pass to Rochette. Rochette outside to Wimpy. Wimpy drives that. Almost blocked by the Bulldogs, but they play it. They push it over. Vandersea to Rochette to Ferguson. Ferguson drives that one up, and she keeps it in. It was blocked by Bulldogs, but Ferguson kept it going. There's the set to the Bulldogs. Drives that down. Weatherby can't get to it. Point Bulldogs. 7-3. Some good action there. Both teams appear very athletic.
Glenn, can you explain for our viewers at home what a libero is with that unique colored jersey on the other team?
The libero is the defensive specialist on the team. Can be substituted at any time. Doesn't have to check in with the officials. And they cover all the court. They can pretty much go anywhere. And it's usually the most defensive player on the team. One of the better athletes. Vandersea, and she's a freshman. She's been playing all 4 years for the Lady Tide. Bedford plays it up, gets it over, blocked there by Ferguson. Point Tide! Emma Ferguson, the freshman, with the block. Number 20, Maria Wimpy with the serve. 8-4 Lady Tide. Early here in game 1. That's popped up, chased down by the Bulldogs. To the middle, they just push it over. Vandersea, kind of a late pass. Rochette, beautiful! Beautiful by Abby Rochette. It was kind of a long pass by Vandersea, and instead of trying to set it, Abby saw the hole in the donut and placed it right in. Point Tide, 9-4. Wimpy with the serve. Beautiful serve, right down the middle. Popped up by the Bulldogs. There's a set to the middle. They jump it over. Rochette to Aon. To Ferguson. Bulldogs push that one. That's going to be long. Point Tide. 10-4. Good passing by the Lady Tide there. A lot of communication. Maria Wimpy to serve. 10-4 Tide. Wimpy serve. Tries to drop that in there. Another beautiful ace. Maria Wimpy. Point Tide. 11-4. Timeout Bulldogs. That was incredible. That's twice that's happened. Rochette did it when in her serve. She was driving them to the back line and then dropped one in there. Maria Wimpy did the same thing, forcing them to the back row and then finesses one right down into the hole of the donut. And Tide find themselves in the lead 11-4 here early in game 1. Both teams regrouping. Not that the Lady Tide have to regroup right now because they have all the momentum. But Bedford, coach is talking things over, giving us some encouragement. Looks like they're ready to go. The Lady Tide have taken the court. Here comes the Bulldogs. Maria Wimpy continues. She's on a little bit of a roll. Here's a serve by Wimpy, senior captain. Tries to drop that one in there, comes up, plays it up to the outside. Bedford gets it over. Point side! Emma Ferguson.
Only a freshman.
Mia
She's got
Harmon was right there.
A lot of skill bringing it to the net.
Yeah, I liked her attitude when we were doing introductions early on. Fits right in, and you wouldn't know she was a freshman. Mia Harmon was in on that first block, too, which kind of set up that kill by Ferguson. That's what dropped in there. That was out. Point side!
Definitely no shortage of personality on this team, that's for sure.
They're all smiling, that's for sure. I like that. Wimpy, 13-4.
Nice.
Point side, ace! Maria Wimpy. (14-4) Lady Tide here in game 1. In complete control. Beautiful serve there by Wimpy. Drives that hard to the back line. Bedford just has to go. Harmon to Rochette. Back to Harmon. Harmon drives that in. Point Tide! Mia Harmon with the kill.
These
Beautiful
girls have
passing right there.
learned how to read each other's movements. That's for sure.
They know where they actually know where they're going to be. It's beautiful. We drops that one in. Nice finesse. Oh, beautiful. That was kind of a unique play by Bedford. I'm not sure what took place, but we'll call it Point Tide. You can use your feet in volleyball, and that was kind of a heads-up play by the Bedford player. But the person at the net went underneath. Wimpy with the serve. And that's long. Point Bedford. Yeah, if you get carried underneath the net, they still call that if you interfere with any player on the other side. Bedford to serve. Number 15, Maggie McCool. Good serve there. Played by Harmon. To Vandersea. Vandersea drops that in there. Point Tide! Brenna Vandersea, 17-5. Bedford substitute. In comes number 24, Kat Polacek. Seeing her first action of the day. The freshman, number 11, Emma Ferguson to serve. That looks like it's going to be long. A lot of adrenaline on that serve. She drives it deep and out. For the Bulldogs, number 7, Sophie Gura. She's an outside hitter. She's a captain for the Bulldogs. Point Bulldogs. This Bulldog team is a young team, mostly made up of juniors with just 2 seniors. That's dropped in there. Wimpy plays it to Rochette, to Harmon. Harmon drives that, played up by Bedford. Chase down. Outside hitter comes in, slams that. Point Bedford. Good play there. Ceylon Aon almost got to that, but it deflected off her hands and out. 17-8. That's the senior captain for Bedford right now, Sophia Guerra, is on a little bit of a roll, trying to give Bedford a little bit of momentum. I believe that's 4 points for her. Tries to drop that. It's going to be short. Point Tide! 18-9. Out comes Ceylon Aon. In comes number 4, Dasha Sevilleva. I think I got that name down. Took me a while, but I finally got that name down. Sevilleva, Dasha, number 4. She's a junior. 18-9, here's the serve. Drops that into the middle. Bumped up by Bedford. Long it. Nice play there by Sevilleva. Played up by Quinn. Harmon gets to it. Another kick save there. And that's out. Point Tide! Bedford know how to play soccer. They've used their feet twice tonight.
Hey, whatever works.
And whatever works. That's unbelievable. I've never seen that before. Sevilleva to serve again. 19-9, Lady Tide, game 1. She pops that in the middle. Bedford comes running up. Doesn't look like anybody's going to get to that one. Point Tide! They're not ready for that little finesse shot in the middle. They come flying up. Some good strategy there by Sevilleva. It's a hot afternoon here at Concord High School. Another dropped into the middle, but they came up and played that nice. There's a set to the middle. Quinn gets to it. Quinn gets it over. Beautiful save there by Quinn and Harmon. There's a block by Quinn and Rochette. Popped up again by Bedford. They push it over. Sevilleva plays it up to Rochette. Wimpy gets it over into the net. Point Bedford. Some good action there. Good reaction by the Lady Tide. Picking them right off the floor, keeping them in live. Just came up short. 2010. Jasmine Attar, junior, libero for Bedford to serve. She pops that. Maria Wimpy comes up and plays it. Rochette drops that one over. Bedford plays it to the outside. Drive that down. There's a block by Rochette and Quinn. Another block. That's going to be long. Point Tide! Quinn Daniels with 2 huge blocks. Teamed up there with Rochette. Number 9, Paige Weatherby to serve. Another player that came out of nowhere last year. Had a great year, and she's continuing it right on this year. Pops that one to the back row. There's a set to the middle. Set up short. Point Tide! Paige Weatherby. 22-10. Tide in complete control. Not much this Bedford team can do at this point. They're being swarmed by the Lady Tide. There's a beautiful set there. Number 6, Ramu Tall. Just hammered that one. That's how you set and kill right there. Beautiful. Out comes number 24 for Bedford. Kat Polacek. In comes number 15. Maggie McCool to serve. Number 20. Jordan Staris. Staris with the serve. 22-11. Puts that to Wimpy. Wimpy to Rochette. Wimpy gets it over. Popped up to the middle. Set to the outside. Driven down. Point Bedford. Another kill. Bree Masillo. Beautiful kill there by Bedford. Not much fantasy could do on that one. 22-12. Beautiful serve there. Point Bedford. Jordan Staris, that was a pretty nice serve there. Had some English on it and kind of broke to the left. No one was there for the Lady Tide. Same spot. Sevilleva gets to it. To Wimpy. To Daniels. They get it over. Bedford plays that one. Oh, Vandersea comes up. Makes a big kill there. I mean, dig. Rochette over to Wimpy. Wimpy drops that to the back row. Played up by the libero. We got a good rally going here. Rochette makes the save. To Wimpy. Wimpy gets that over. Bedford plays it up. Pops it to the middle. Set to the outside. They drive that down. Rochette and Daniels there for the block. Again, another big set. There's Sevilla to Rochette. Rochette back to Sevilla. She pops it over. Bedford gets to it. Plays it to the middle. They set to the outside. That's pushed over. No one's there. Oh, beautiful play by Sevilla. Vandersea. Oh, into the net. Oh, what a play. Great volleyball action here at Concord High School. That was some amazing play. 22-14. Bedford showing what they're made of here. Not going down lightly. To Wimpy. Wimpy drops that one in there. Bedford comes up, plays it up. They get to it. They get it over. Rochette to Vandersea. Oh, Sevilleva takes it to Wimpy. That's blocked. Point Bedford. And suddenly we're in a game. It was 22-10. It's now 22-15. Bedford's found some life. Sevilleva to Rochette. Rochette to Vandersea. Vandersea pops that one over. Bedford comes up and plays it. It gets over. Rochette to Sevilla. Back to Vandersea. Vandersea pops that one over. Bedford pops that up to the middle. There's a set to the back row. That's over. Vandersea to Rochette. Rochette to Wimpy. Wimpy drives that. Bedford plays that. It's off the roof, but it comes down. Bedford gets to it. Sevilleva to Rochette. Rochette to Quinn. Quinn drops that over. Point tied! Quinn Daniels
They needed to turn that momentum
finally
back
gets
over.
the side out. You're absolutely right. That was some good action there, huh?
That was.
Vandersea to serve, 23-15. We're seeing some good volleyball here at Concord High School. Both teams laying it out there. That's long. Point tied, 24-15. Vandersea to serve for the game. Vandersea gets it to the middle. There's a set to the middle. It's a little long. Ferguson can't get to it. And Bedford's into the net. Point tied. Tied take game one, 25-15. And they'll change sides. This is Glenn Matthews and Tanya Rochette on camera, ConcordTV, channel 6 and 22. Tanya, can you tell us a little bit what goes on behind the scenes with the parents and the...
So the Booster Club, we have a very active Booster Club for Concord High Volleyball, and Booster Club raises funds and helps the team by supporting efforts to get new uniforms, to pay for events, to pay for items that the girls are looking to wear during practices and warm-ups and all the fun activities that they do. This also goes to supply any of the extra fees associated with travel and the meals that the girls have on away games so that they can make sure they're having a well-balanced meal in preparation for an away game. And it goes towards the senior banquet and recognition and awards that these girls work so hard to achieve. So to help offset some of those costs so they're not absorbed totally by the players themselves.
Now, do you have anything coming up?
We have, I say we because I am a proud Booster Club member, but currently we have just finished up a very successful tag day, but are working to continue to sell raffle tickets on what we expect to be an annual fundraising achievement to realize some much needed funds to further replenish the depleting fundraising kitty. But we will be doing a raffle drawing on our senior night, and we hope this will be an annual event. And we've had lots of incredible donations of raffle prize items. So trying to make these affordable for all those that want to purchase raffle tickets.
Yeah, how can they purchase raffle
They
tickets?
can find any one of their awesome Booster Club members or volleyball team players, as well as coaches. And we have an active Facebook page that you can also message us through if you are unable to attend one of the games or to find one of your volleyball players. But I don't think that will ever be a hard deal because our girls are everywhere and our coaches and our Booster Club members are everywhere. So anybody that wants to buy raffle tickets in any given year should be able to buy raffle tickets.
Outstanding. All right, we're back. We're ready for game two. Concord High has taken the court as well as Bedford. The referees have looked over the lineups.
So
The
Glenn,
Bedford coach is having one more little conversation with the ref.
Glenn, can you explain to me or to our viewers at home why the girls switch sides between each game?
Well, every volleyball match consists of 5 games, the best out of 5. So if a game, they alternate sides after each game, depending on which side they start on. It can go 3-0, it can go 3-1, 3-2. If it does go to 5, the first 4 games are played to 25. You got to win by 2. And the 5th game is played to 15. And again, you got to win by 2. So depending on who's home team and visitor is determined where you start. Usually Concord High starts on the left side of the court from where we're at. and then they'll alternate after every game. Here's Paige Weatherby to start off game 2. And she drops it in there. Paige Weatherby, ace, point tie.
I think Concord caught Bedford asleep at the
Yeah,
helm.
it didn't look like they were ready, were they? Yeah, I remember being a volleyball parent for my daughter Shay, and it seemed like the funds got drained every year. You had to work really hard. So you guys do a great job. Weatherby with a serve. To the left side, there's Quinn Daniels. Quinn Daniels with a kill, point tied. She was set up by the Bedford player. Quinn Daniels was right there. She actually had some hops on that one and hammered it to the left side. Paige Weatherby, service 3. Again, going to that right side. Daniels there again. And again, the Bulldogs are underneath the net. Point tied.
And it's also important to recognize that no player will be denied access to any of the team's events or supplies if due to inability to pay. So these booster club funds also go
Nice
towards,
play by Daniels. Rochette pops it over.
goes towards scholarship funds, so it can fund the activity fees and other fees for players.
We got a good rally going here. Another play of Sevilleva to Rochette to Wimpy. Wimpy drives that to the back row. It drops, it's in. Point tied. Maria Wimpy. Well, I think you guys just do an amazing job every year. It seems like the funds are drained, and you raise the money again. Great opportunity for the kids that can't afford it, can still afford it. So great job to you. Good kudos. Paige Weatherby with his 5th service. There's a set to the middle. That's driven to the back row. It was touched last by Concord High. They almost gave it to Concord High, but that was a clear deflection by Quinn Daniels. Point Bedford. And they finally have a side out here in game 2. Do we know who won the JV game? Bedford for the serve. Wimpy to plays it to Rochette. Back to Wimpy. Wimpy drives that far back. Point tied! Maria Wimpy. We'll try to find out that JV score because they played well. I caught a little bit of it, and I believe it went in the JVs. They actually only played 3 games. So if you win the first 2, it's over, but you can split and go to a 3rd game. Bedford pops that over. Vandersea plays it to Rochette. Rochette to Ferguson. Ferguson right back in the face, but she plays it up again. Rochette back to Wimpy, and there's no one home. Some miscommunication there. Not sure what happened, but Concord High stopped playing. Wimpy and Ferguson got kind of caught in the middle and kind of looking at each other, and Rochette set it to the outside, but no one was home. Vandersea comes up and plays that one. There's a set to Ferguson. Ferguson drives that into the net. Point Bedford. Serving for the Bulldogs. Number 7, Sophia Guerrero. She had a great first game. She was the bright spot for Bedford. She got him back in it with about 7 in a row and serves. And there's another one. Ace for the senior. 5-4. Looks like the Lady Tide have to refocus a little bit here because they're thinking this is too easy. Vandersea pops that one out of bounds, and we find ourselves tied 5-5 here in game 2. This is where I think a timeout might be in order. Coach Flowers doesn't like to call timeouts too often. Wimpy plays that one to Rochette, back to Wimpy. Wimpy into the net. We have fallen asleep. 6-5 Bedford. There's a timeout. I'm not sure if the heat's gotten to them, but they've just fallen asleep here in game 2. They're up to a 5-0 start, and Bedford's rattled off 6 in a row, led by senior Sophia Guerrera. Coach Flowers is regrouping his team right now. Again, the referees, or the officials for this match, Mike Andruski and Dana Barassa. This is Glenn Matthews, along with Tanya Rochette on camera, Concord TV, channel 6 and 22, Concord Sports Station. Concord's first timeout. Bedford took a timeout in the first game. Concord won the first match, the first game 25-15. They were up 5-0 in this one, but find themselves down 6-5 behind Sophia Guerrera, senior, captain for the Bulldogs, and she's set to serve again. She drives that in there. Weatherby comes up and plays it up. There's Rochette to the freshman. Point tied, Emma Ferguson. Good timeout. Rochette to serve. In comes Ceylon Aon.
I just found an update from the JV games. It looks like Bedford won the matches.
It was definitely competitive. It was back and forth, so we're down. So they played well. Rochette gets it over. Point Bedford. And they maintain the lead, 7-6. There's a good story by Ceylon Aon. She wasn't on the team last year, but she worked her butt off over the summer, and she finds herself some playing time this year. Is she a senior?
She is a senior.
She is a senior, so that's just an incredible story. So my hat's off to her and her hard work. She wanted it, and she came out and got it.
She was the team's manager last
Bedford
year.
into the net. Point tied. Emma Ferguson with the kill. Out comes Weatherby. In comes Harmon. She was instrumental in that first game. Played very well on the front line. Serving Maria Wimpy, senior captain. Was talking to her dad. She went for a visit, or is going to go for a visit to his alma mater, the Plymouth State. She drives that beautiful serve there. I'm not sure how the Bedford good got to it, but she got to it. There's a set by Abbott. Emma Ferguson out. And the Bulldogs back in front, 8-7. My daughter Shay goes to Curry and just played Plymouth State. They took the first game handily and then lost 3 straight to Plymouth State. Plymouth State looks really good. So Maria's going to fit right in on that team. They're going to like what they see when they see her show up. Mia Harmon drives that down, and that's out. Point tied. Well, that was deflected. That was deflected off.
And they gave that to Bedford, huh?
Wow, that's a missed call there. I'd like to see that on replay. Concord High has fallen apart here in game 2. The communication is gone. 10-7 Bulldogs. Number 15, Maggie McCool to serve for the Bulldogs. She pops that in there. Harmon pops it up to Rochette. Rochette back to Harmon. Harmon drives that down. Beautiful pass, set, kill. Mia Harmon, point tied. 10-8. Out comes Vandersea, in comes Quinn Daniels. To serve, the freshman, number 11, Emma Ferguson. Ferguson drives that beautiful serve there, low in the middle. As Dick Wimpy plays that one up to Rochette. Rochette sets out to Harmon. Harmon into the net, point Bulldogs. 11-8. In comes Vandersea, out comes the freshman. To serve for the Bulldogs, number 21, Bree Masillo. 11-8 Bulldogs in the lead here in game 2. Steamy afternoon here at Concord High School. That's driven to Vandersea. Long pass there. Point tied! Bedford went up and over the net. Never gave it a chance to come down. So that's a mental mistake there. But Bedford right now is playing aggressive. 11-9. Out comes Ceylon Aon. In comes number 4, Dasha Saviljeva. She's just a junior. Serve right to the middle. Popped up by Bedford. There's a set to the outside. There's number 7, Vandersea with a great dig there. Rochette back to Wimpy. Wimpy drives that right down the middle. Maria Wimpy, point tied.
And that was a great hit from the back line there by Wimpy.
A great dig by Vandersea. Got it to Rochette. Rosette passes it back to Wimpy, and she kills it from about middle court. Sevilla out of serve. She drops that one to the far right. Bedford gets it. It's kind of pushed a little hard. Popped up. Point tied. Ace. Sevilla. And we're all tied up at 11. Sevilla with a serve. That drops that in the middle. The set to the outside again. Number 7 drives it down. Sevilla gets to it, but it goes out. Bedford back in the lead. Out comes Emily Adam for Bedford. In comes number 4, Jasmine Attar. Out comes number 24, Kat Polacek. In comes number 6, Ramu Tall. To serve, number 4, Jasmine Attar. Attar to Wimpy. Wimpy to Rochette. Rochette to Harmon. Harmon pops it over. Played up there by Bedford. They get it over. Vandersea to Rochette. Rochette to Harmon. Harmon drives that back. And it's blocked by number 20 and number 6. Jordan Staris and Ramu Tall. 13-11. Dogs holding tough here in game 2. Attar with a serve. Vandersea to Rochette to Harmon. Harmon drives that. Blocked again by number 6, Ramu Tall, and number 20, Jordan Staris. 14-11. Bedford regaining control after the Tide made a quick comeback. It's squaring it up at 11, so it's now 14-11 Bedford. Wimpy to Rochette to Harmon. Harmon pops that over. Bedford gets it. They got to get it over. They do. Vandersea to Rochette. Rochette to Quinn Daniels. And again, another block. Where did number 6 come from? That's 3 in a row by Ramu Tall. 15-11 Bedford. It does seem like it started to cool off a little bit. I don't know how, but unless I'm just...
Concord's lost some of its steam there.
Harmon. Maria Wimpy drops that beautiful pass. Beautiful shot by Maria Wimpy. Point tied. Side out. Out comes Harmon, in comes Weatherby.
Do you see my little attempt at humor there, that it was Concord lost its steam?
I think there's plenty of steam still left. As my son would say, were you trying to pun me? Bedford gets it over. Vandersea to Rochette. Rochette with a set to Daniels. Daniels pops that in there. Point tied. Quinn Daniels.
Very strategic.
Instead of hammering it,
Daniels.
after being blocked like 4 out of the last 5 times, Daniels goes with a finesse shot, puts it where no one's at, and it's 15-13. Weatherby with a serve again. Beautiful serve there. Ace. Paige Weatherby. Point tied. 15-14. And Bedford takes a timeout. So Bedford's been pretty much in control this whole match. The Tide have made 2 runs. This is the second of those 2. They were down 15-11, and now it's 15-14. Bedford calls probably a good timeout by their coach.
To try and break a little bit of that momentum gained by Concord.
Yeah, she doesn't want any more of that steam coming back.
That was punny.
So Bedford's quickly out of their timeout. And Flowers giving him, his players a reboot.
For those viewers at home, Glenn, how many timeouts are allowed per side per game?
I believe 3, but I could be wrong on that. I believe it's 3 per game. You're hitting me with all these tough questions there, Tanya.
Well, I asked tongue-in-cheek for those viewers at home, but really it's for me.
Okay, we're out of the timeout. There's Rochette trying to push it over. There's a set. Sevilleva to Wimpy. Wimpy drives to the cross side. That's going to be tough. No one's there for Bedford. Point tied. Bedford into the net. There's been some kind of ghost calls here by these officials. Maybe it's a little hot for them too. 15-15. Weatherby with a beautiful serve there. That's going to be into the, oh, beautiful punch up there by, he keeps calling Bedford for going under the net, and I'm not sure what he's seeing. So I'm kind of baffled here, Tanya, on what this official's actually seeing, but we'll take it.
We will take it.
Chased down by Bedford there, and it's pushed over. Vandersea to Rochette. Rochette to Daniels. Daniels misfires. Point Bedford. And we're all tied up again. I'll tell you, the Tide came back behind Weatherby to take a 16-15 lead after being down 15-11. So that was a good run. Weatherby getting us back into it. Looked like the Tide are back to being focused. Number 20 for Bedford. Jordan Starris has had a pretty decent day here. Wimpy to Rochette. Back to Wimpy and a misfire.
I think the moisture in the air has got to play some kind of role in this today, because we've seen a lot of slips that I'm thinking perspiration probably contributes to.
You know, in college, they have guys on each side that after every point, they go out and wipe down the court. Point Bedford, 18-16. So after regaining the focus, it was quickly lost by the Lady Tide here. And Bedford storming back, take a 2-point lead.
It's not lost, it's just temporarily misplaced.
And that's into the net, unforced error there, big break for the Tide, 18-17. In comes the freshman, Emma Ferguson. Out comes Quinn Daniels. To serve, Vandersea, the senior libero. Vandersea drops that to the back row. Played up, no one's home. Ace! Brenna Vandersea, point tied. 18-18. Good sized crowd here on this hot night, this steamy night. That's going to be long. Point Bedford.
So Glenn, it's considered an ace if it's not able to be returned.
Correct.
Correct?
Like that one. Point Bedford, and they're back on top, 19-18. Back and forth we go here in game 2. Tide took the first game, 25-15, and Bedford's giving them a game here in game 2. Weatherby to Rochette, outside of Wimpy. Blocked again by Bedford. 21-18, 3-point lead here in game 2. I think that would have been out if Weatherby wouldn't have touched it coming back. And this has been the big player here for Bedford, number 7, Sophia Guerrera. She's really gotten them all their points and gone on big runs. Wimpy to the back row. Here's the set to the middle. That's punched over. Vandersea gets to it. Oh, beautiful play there. And it gets over by Weatherby. The Ferguson, the freshman, made an incredible dig to Wimpy, to Rochette, to Ferguson. Ferguson drops that over. Bedford plays it up to the outside. They drop that in there. Vandersea gets to it. Again, Rochette gets to that one and gets it over. Bedford to the outside. There's Wimpy. No one could get to that one. Point Bedford. Great action here in game 2. Timeout, Flower.
That was a hard-earned point
Second
by
timeout
Bedford.
by the Lady Tide. 22-18. Bedford with the lead.
Just taking a quick view of our fans. See a lot of people fanning themselves with their programs. It is a hot night.
You didn't hear that, did you?
I didn't until you called attention to it.
It is hot. I just sucked down some water, so I apologize if you heard me gulping. Tide's out of the timeout and have taken the court. Bedford walked over to the fan, got a little cooled off, and they're back on the court. Referee blows his whistle, makes the count. And number 7, Sophia Guerra to serve. She pops that in there. Vandersea to Rochette. Rochette outside to Wimpy. Wimpy pushes that over. Bedford gets to it. They look at each other. They have to just punch it over. Vandersea back to Rochette. Rochette to the middle to the freshman, and she kills it. Emma Ferguson, point Tide.
That
Another
was a great
good timeout.
combination.
Some good passing back and forth and a nice set. Ferguson puts it away.
Rochette for the serve right now.
Rochette, just a junior. Beautiful serve there to the right side. Bedford plays it up. It's a hit to the outside. Vandersea plays that one up. Could be long. Rochette kind of went off the fence. She was there. Took a funny bounce off the net. And it's 23-19 Bedford. Number 6, Ramu Tall for Bedford to serve. She's had some big blocks in game 2. Frustrating the front line of the Lady Tide. Wimpy. Rochette does get to that one. I'm not really sure what he's calling because that looked like another good play. It went off the net. The ball went off the net. Rochette played it beautifully, but he called into the net. I'm not sure. I don't know. And that's it. Bedford takes game 2, 25-19.
And
So after being dominated in game 1, Bedford came back and played well in game 2. I'm not saying the Lady Tide had some moments there where they appeared to fall asleep, but they came roaring back, showing what they could do, but Bedford was not going to be denied in game 2. This is Glenn Matthews and Tanya Rochette on camera, ConcordTV, channel 6 and 22, Concord Sports Station. We'll be back in 2. We are back here at Concord High School, the home of the Lady Tide, taking on Bedford Bulldogs. Tide took the first game 25-15. The Bulldogs bounced back in game 2, 25-19. So we're headed to game 3. Again, this is a best of 5. First 4 games, you play to 25, got to win by 2. If it goes to a 5th game, it's to 15, still have to win by 2. Bedford has taken the court, just waiting for the Lady Tide. Not sure who called that little psych chant, but the Lady Tide are now onto the court. There's the horn. The officials look at each lineup. It looks like we're set to play. Referee again just looking over the lineup that Coach Flowers gave him. Now he's checking out the Bedford's lineup, making sure everybody's in the right place. In comes Vandersea. Out comes Quinn Daniels. Again, that's one of those substitutions that you don't have to check in. You can just make at any time because she's a libero.
And it looks like football practice has just ended because we're starting to see some additional members of the crowd come in.
There's the serve by Bedford. Number 20, Jordan Starris. Point Bedford. That was a nice set there. Ceylon Aon just hit it long. Boy, she had some hops though. She was up there. Starris with the serve. Vandersea chases that down. Rochette chases that down. Weatherby gets it over to the back row. Bedford plays it to the middle. They hammer that one down. And Concord High is into the net on that one. 2-0 Bedford. They're off to a quick start here in game 3. Bedford has got some energy now and they're playing with some momentum. Vandersea to Rochette. Rochette to Wimpy. Wimpy drives that down. Blocked again by number 7. Sophia Guerrera. He's having a game right now, 3-0 Bedford.
Concord's got to work hard to break that rhythm.
Anderson to Rochette. Rochette to the freshman, Emmer. And that's in. Point tied. Emma Ferguson.
That was a great placement by Emma.
Yeah, she could have slammed that down, but
She saw
used
an
a little
opening.
finesse, placed it beautifully out of the reach of the Bedford Bulldogs. That's pretty amazing for a freshman to have that awareness. Maria Wimpy to serve, the senior captain. She pops that in there. Bedford pops it up to the middle. It's actually set to the outside. No one at home. There you go. Guerrero again with the kill. 4-1 Bedford. And to serve, number 7. Sophia Guerrera. I think I pronounced her name different every time. She pops that to Vandersea. Vandersea to Rochette. Rochette to Harmon. Harmon puts that down. Dug out there nicely by Bedford. Pushed over. Point Bedford, 5-1. Guerrero to serve again. 5-1 Bedford to Harmon. Harmon to Rochette. Rochette to Wimpy. That's driven to the back row. Bedford plays that up. That's pushed over. Nice play there by the freshman. Harmon pushes that one over. Another play by the freshman. Rochette to Harmon again. That's driven to the back row. Almost blocked. There's a set to the middle. That's put down. Harmon plays that one up. The freshman back to Harmon. Bedford gets to that one, to the middle, to the outside. Driven down. Harmon gets to that one again. Beautiful play here by both teams. That's put down there. Blocked by Ceylon Aon. It's kept alive by Bedford to the back row. Rochette tries that, and it's long.
Just long.
Some great volleyball there by both sides. Incredible action. The fans appreciate it as they cheer on both sides. Bedford working hard, the Lady Tide working hard. 6-1 Bedford. Harmon chased down by Rochette to Vandersea. Vandersea into the net. 7-1. Will Flower call a timeout before this one gets out of hand. Sophia Guerrera on a run. She's done this in every game so far. Harmon. Rochette can't get to it. 8-1. Bedford. Still no timeout by the Lady Tide. Guerrera with a serve to Wimpy. Rochette chases that down beautifully over by the freshman Ferguson. Here's the set to the middle. Number 6 drives that down. Point Bedford, 9-1. They're handing it to the Lady Tide right now. There's a timeout by Flower. Bedford has come alive here in game 3. Again, the Lady Tide took game 1, 25-15. Almost looking like it was going to be a quick night. Bedford stormed back in game 2. Had 5-point leads at 2 different occasions. Tide battled back to tie it, and then they ran away with it in the end and won it 25-19. Here in game 3, the Lady Tide haven't shown up yet. Bedford out to a 9-1 lead here in game 3. Some incredible volleys though. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Tide have not got a break yet. But the Lady Bulldogs are working hard. See if the Tide can regroup and chew into this 9-1 lead. Sophia Guerrera to serve. She's been hot. Wimpy comes up and plays it. Rochette to Harmon. Harmon pops that long. 10-1 Bulldogs. Guerrera back to Harmon. Harmon to Rochette. Rochette back to Harmon. She drives that down. Bedford digs that one up. That's a little bit long. Point Tide! Mia Harmon. That was close. Looked like Harmon went over the net, but he was right in front of the referee. and doesn't call it. But maybe the Heat's playing a role in everybody here. The freshman Ferguson. Point tie! Ace! Emma Ferguson, 10-3. See if the freshman can create some momentum here for the Lady Tide. Number 11 with a serve. Into the net. A little lack of concentration there. Side out. In comes 25 for Bedford. Emily Adams to serve, number 6. Remove Tall. She's had some big blocks here in the match. Vandersea. Harmon pushes that. Oh, that was Daniel Quinn. Quinn Daniels pushes that over. Vandersea digs that one. Rochette to Quinn Daniels. Then Daniels puts that down with some authority. Point tied. Quinn Daniels. Ceylon Aon, she was a part of that point. Kept it alive. In comes Dasha Saviljeva to serve. Savilia pops that in. Off the middle. There's a set to the outside. 21 comes in. No one at home. 12-4. Tide just can't get anything going here in game 3. Out comes number 15, Maggie McCool. In comes 14, Caroline Robinson. 12-4, Bulldogs. Into the net, Tide get a break, 12-5, point Tide! Out comes Harmon, in comes Weatherby. Weatherby brought him back in game 2. See if she can work some magic here. We need some of that steam back here for the Lady Tide. Weatherby, beautiful serve to the back row. To the middle, outside to 21. She's had a big game. To Wimpy, to Rochette, back to Wimpy. Wimpy drives that down. Point Tide! Maria Wimpy. 12-6. Lady Tide have cut it in half. Weatherby with a serve. Beautiful serve there. Ace! Paige Weatherby, point Tide! 12-7. Another big serve there. Bedford gets to that one, popped up high. Somehow get it through, they pop it over. Vandersea to Rochette. Rochette to Daniels. Daniels puts that down. Point Tide! Quinn Daniels and the Tide are coming back. Timeout Bedford.
Paige has the ability to bring a very calm sense of calm, I guess that's the only way to say it, over the team. She really is a very confident player.
Yeah, she came onto the scene last year with authority. I mean,
Yeah.
she really, where'd she come from? She's one of the players from CRVBC. She plays year round, and she's really made herself into a fantastic volleyball player. Puts the work in, found her niche, and she's running with it.
She definitely has confidence on the court, which
I had
the whole
privilege
team.
of coaching her at RMS in basketball, and she was one of our captains. She was just a fantastic player, coachable. I love coachable kids, and that's what she is. She's a coachable kid. We'll run through a wall for you. So they were back from the timeout. Both teams met with their players. Here's Paige Weatherby to serve again. Another nice serve there. Maria Wimpy pushed over there by Rochette. Here's the set. Another little push over. Rochette gets to it. Quinn Daniels gets to it. There's a block. Point Bedford. I think the Lady Tide tried to play a little too much finesse there instead of just hammering it down on that one. Bedford kept it alive, and it dropped in. 13-8. See if the Tide can get a side out, a quick side out. Into the net. Point Tide! Just what the Tide ordered right there. An unforced error by number 21, Bree Masillo. Out comes Daniels. In comes the freshman, Emma Ferguson, a serve, Vandersea. Vandersea drops that to the back row, played up by Bedford. They have to just push it over. Wimpy to Rochette. Rochette to Ferguson. Ferguson with the kill. Point Tide! Emma Ferguson, the Frosh.
You do see water having such a tremendous effect on the girls. If it's on their feet on the court, it can result in lots of slips and trips.
Vandersea with the serve. Right to the net. There's a little pushover. Wimpy tracks it down to Rochette, to Ferguson. Ferguson to the back row. Bedford lays off it. Tide tries to call a deflection, but there was none. Side out Bedford. 14-10. In comes number 4, Jasmine Attar. In comes number 6, Ramu Tall, the blocker. So Tide are clawing away here in game 3, trying to get themselves back into it. It was 9-1 at one point, it's now 14-10. That's Maria Wimpy. Point Tide! Maria Wimpy. Beautiful set there by Abby Rochette. Maria took advantage and put it down. Out comes Sevilleva. In comes Aeon. To serve, Abby Rochette. 14-11, game 3. Beautiful serve there by Rochette. But Bedford digs it out. They pop it over. Rochette to Aeon. Aeon to Ferguson. Ferguson somehow gets a piece of that when it gets it over. Bedford struggles a little bit, but they pop it over. Ooh, that looked like it was going to be long. Point Bedford. Might have been long, but hey, that was close. Got to play it. I say if it's close, play it. 15-11. In comes number 15, Maggie McCool to serve. Number 20, Jordan Staris. Beautiful serve there by Staris. Rochette to Wimpy. Wimpy gets up, finds the line. Somehow Bedford got to that. I don't know how they did. That's put into the net. Point Tide! 15-12. They're within 3. In comes Harmon, out comes Weatherby. To serve, Wimpy. 15-12.
This is where Concord really needs to get some momentum going.
Well, Wimpy's got that powerful serve. They can do it right here. Beautiful serve there. Point Tide! Ace! Maria Wimpy, that senior captain. 15-13. This would be a tremendous comeback by the Tide. Down 9-1 at one point. She plops that in. Ace! Maria Wimpy, point Tide! 15-14. 2 big serves there by the senior captain. And now she hammers that one long. Had some adrenaline flowing on that one. That was a missile. 16-14 Bedford. Tide keep chipping away. This is the one we need a side out on. Number 7, Sofia Guerrera. Her serve's been a nightmare for the Lady Tide. It's to Rochette, to Ferguson. Ferguson puts away the freshman. Point Tide! Emma Ferguson. 16-15.
Hey Glenn, for our viewers at home, explain what a side out is.
A side out is when a team gets a point and the other team was serving, the serve goes to the other team. Aeon with a point Tide! She didn't get much of it, but she got enough of it. And sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Ferguson pops that one in there. Bedford pops it up. To the middle, they have to push it over. Wimpy to Rochette. Rochette to Harmon. Harmon drives that into the net. Point Bedford. So right now, we would want to side out. So
So
Bedford serving, so if they missed the point, side out would go to Concord. Concord was serving, and they messed up the point, side out would go to Bedford. Just tells you who you're going to serve, who's going to be serving. Aon to Wimpy, Wimpy to Harmon. Harmon finds the hole, point tied! Mia Harmon, and we're all tied up at 17. Hard to believe the Tide were down 9-1 at one time, and they've battled back to make it 17-17. Out comes Ceylon Aon, in comes Sevilleva. Dasha Sevilleva, number 4, 17-17. Sevilleva to the back row, popped up to the middle. There's a set to the outside, it's driven down, Wimpy plays it to Rochette, Rochette to Harmon. And that's going to be a double hit.
Oh, a carry. Looks.
It's probably the first time I've ever seen a double hit. Or carry. 18-17. Vandersea to Rochette, Rochette to Quinn.
Sometimes accidental bobbles happen, and that one worked in our favor. Bedford thought that that was an out and took it for granted.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that was all about because didn't
They pointed to Concord.
Player hit the ball like 3 times? One player hit the ball 3 times.
Interesting. Well, they just changed up their call, so I'm a bit confused.
They reversed it. They reversed the call. That's a good call. I was kind of wondering there what exactly happened. Point Bedford.
Looks like there was some confusion on.
I'm not sure if we have some new refs here or.
I think there's some confusion about either the rotation or. And the court captain's talking to the referee.
That's a good Flower made a good point. Wimpy went over and talked to the number 1 official. Now they're talking it out. So it looked like Concord High wasn't even ready yet when they blew the whistle for play to start. So we'll see if they reverse this and just do a
replay?
Yeah, replay.
Or a do-over?
A do-over. We like do-overs. Official comes over to talk to Flower, get an explanation. The Bedford coach is looking a little anxious, wondering what's going to happen here.
Looks like they're asking the girls to get back into their positions so they can do a reassessment of sorts.
So I thought I actually heard Coach Flower say it was the right call because his team was out of rotation. And I think they were out of rotation because the referees blew the whistle to start play before the Tide was actually ready. Now I'm guessing there, but the Tide have reset their players. Bedford coach is still questioning it.
So for those of us at home that are having questions about this, I don't blame you because I have no idea what's happening.
And I've been doing volleyball games for the last 5 years, I think, and I don't have a clue on what's taking place right now.
I blame it on the heat.
Other than there was a question in the rotation, and I know teams can call a reset. That's what it looks like Coach Flowers did. And here we are under play again. Bedford did get the point, so it's 20-18. There's another serve. Sevilleva plays that up. Vandersea gets it in. Wimpy gets it over. There's the set to the outside, looks long. There's Rochette with a putback, but Bedford plays that up. Again, they put it, it's in the net. Point tie!
Right.
Big block there by number 8, Abby Rochette. 20-19. In comes Weatherby. Out comes Harmon. Weatherby to serve. She went on the big run and actually got the Lady Tide back into game 3 when they were down 9-1 at one point. Weatherby, ooh. A little lack of concentration there, misfire. Side out, Bedford. It's a tough break there by for the Lady Tide. Number 21, Bree Marcillo to serve for Bedford. In comes number 4 as well, Jasmine Attar.
Maybe. Looks like there's some questions.
Now they're struggling with their rotation. In comes 4, out comes 25. Emily Adams. So there's a little confusion by the Bedford's lineup right now. Waiting for the referees to blow the whistle. Looks like they're ready to go. Here's the serve by Bedford. They pop it over. Vandersea comes up to play it. Rochette chases it down to Vandersea. Vandersea pops that one over. Bedford plays that one. They can't get to it. Point Tide! 21-20. In comes Ferguson. Out comes Daniels to serve Vandersea. 21-20. We got a battle here in game 3. This is Glenn Matthews with Tanya Rochette on camera. Channel 6 and 22, Concord Sports Station. We got an official timeout here. Again, they're having a little confusion with the lineups, it looks like. So the official want to make sure he has it all set. Because if you get out of rotation, the point actually goes to the other team. So he wants to make sure it's corrected. Looks like Sevilleva has checked back in. On the front line, we have the freshman Emma Ferguson, Maria Wimpy in the middle, and Rochette in the back. Vandersea, Weatherby, and Sevilleva. And there's the whistle. Vandersea to serve. She drops that all the way to the back row. Bedford plays it up to the outside. That looks long. Point Tide! 21-21. Tide's going to be serving for the lead for the first time in the game.
Oh dear, it looks like we have some more questions.
So we got some questions here by the Bedford coach. Something about the book being messed up. Here's the play. Vandersea. Point Tide! Ace! Brenna Vandersea. Bedford coach isn't going to let this one go. Has something again to do with the rotation of the teams. They're having I would say a conversation. Officials trying to explain what he did. She is not understanding.
Or maybe not agreeing.
Yeah, that could be it.
Looks like Bedford has...
She's working hard to get her point across. Rightfully so, if they made a mistake.
Let's hope Concord doesn't let this break their steam or break their stride.
But it looks like it's to do with the Bedford lineup and not the Crimson Tide lineup. So there's definitely some confusion here. But anyway, hey, the Tide have their first lead, 22-21. Again, what a battle back here, being down 9-1. They did not quit. They showed what they're made of. They got themselves back into this match and find themselves with a 22-21 lead with Brenna Vandersea serving. Looks like it's all settled down. The coach is not happy from Bedford, but she's accepted the result. Vandersea drives that one hard to the back row. There's Guerrera to Vandersea. Chased down by Rochette to Wimpy. Wimpy pops that over. Point tie! Maria Wimpy! Concord has now regained the momentum. You can feel it. The fans are back into it. They now have a 2-point lead here in game 2. 23-21. Vandersea, a short serve. It was going out, but Guerrero plays it. Bedford keeps it in. They get it over. Weatherby to Rochette. Rochette to Wimpy. Wimpy to the middle. Point tie! Feed the senior. Feed the senior. 24-21. Maria Wimpy. Vandersea serving for the game. Bedford coach shaking her head. Not sure what happened. Bedford pops it to the back row. They pop it over. Wimpy plays it. Back to Rochette. Back to Wimpy. She drops that in there. Bedford gets to it. They push it over. There's almost blocked. Rochette into the net. Almost. She came up hard. Just carried a little bit into the net. Side out Bedford. 24-21. Lady Tide have gained the lead in the momentum. Can the Lady Bulldogs grasp it back? Number 20, Jordan Staris to serve. Staris to Wimpy, to Jordan, to Wimpy. She drives that cross court. Point time!
And that is game.
Wimpy.
Good
The Lady
job.
Tide take game 3, 25-22. What? That was incredible action, huh, Tanya?
Yes, and I am glad that Concord didn't lose its steam and rallied back.
There was definitely some confusion there in game 3. Again, the Lady Bulldogs kind of put it to the Lady Tide, taking a 9-1 lead, and then they hung on that lead till about 20, where the Tide finally tied them, and then took it back, and then never looked back.
Getting some quick hydration in there because it's so steamy and the girls have really been losing a lot of water.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those nights, but I gotta say, somehow it feels like it's cooled off a little bit, at least up here. Maybe it's because that door's open down there now, but I'm not, unless I just don't have any water left in me.
You might not have any water, and taking a look at our ceiling fans, the 4 little propellers that we sometimes have going aren't going tonight. So I'm wondering if that's supposed to either pull hot air away or push some cool air down, but nothing's moving.
So, right now the Lady Tide are up 2-1. We're going to game 4. If the Tide win game 4, that's it. If the Bulldogs fight back and get game 4, we'll go to game 5. Game 4 will also be played to 25. You got to win by 2. Game 5, if there is, will be played to 15. You got to win by 2. And there are a lot of fans with fans out in the crowd, trying to stay cool here on a steamy night at the Concord High School gymnasium. Again, the Tide are having an incredible season so far. It's early. They have a 7-1 record with their only blemish to Salem. Now, was that game played down in Salem?
That was played down at Salem.
And what was the score of that game?
They lost, or they won the first match and then lost the next 3.
So it was 3-1 Salem.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of teams with 7-1 records, I believe, and then there's one undefeated team, Hollis.
Hollis Brookline is
They always
undefeated.
seem to be right in the thick of things, Hollis.
Yes. Strong program there.
Both teams have now retaken the court here for game 4. The officials are making sure they have the lineup correct this time. Looking at everybody. Looks like Vandersea, the libero, is coming in for Quinn Daniels. And Abby Rochette is going to set the serve here in game 4. Here's the serve. Rochette finds ace. Abby Rochette, point tied. Now that's a way to start game 4. Looked like the Bulldogs were sleeping on that one. Rochette to serve, point 2. Beautiful serve there. Low and hard, catches the top of the net. The Bulldogs do get it over. Vandersea to Rochette. Weatherby gets it over. Here's the set to the outside. Long set. Oh, I've never seen that before. Aeon caught it as it was slammed. She was there for the block. Point Bedford, 1-1. Here's the serve by Bedford. Beautiful serve catch. That catches the top of the net. Weatherby tries to get her foot on it. To no avail. 2-1 Bedford. Number 20 serving. Jordan Staris. She's played well today. Abby comes way across court to get to that one. Aeon can't push it over. Abby tracked that down from a mile. Still set it pretty well. Just out of the reach of Aeon Sayon. Sayon Aeon. Abby gets to that one. To Wimpy. To the back row. Bedford gets to that. Pops it back in the middle. They need to get it over. They do. Sayon Aeon gets to it. To Wimpy. Wimpy drives that. Out. So again, Tide find themselves down early. 4-1. Staris with a serve. That's out. Point. Tied. 4-2.
So that is a pure side out, right?
That was a pure side out right there. Harmon comes in. Wimpy to serve. Waiting for the official's whistle. There it is. Wimpy comes running in and pops that one in there. That little finesse serve of hers. Looks like it's going to be a fastball, but she just dumps it in there. Aeon over to Harmon. Harmon pops that over. It's blocked. Wimpy gets to it. Harmon gets to it. No one else can get there. Some good work by the Lady Tide, but Bedford finishes it off. Up 5-2. Number 7, Sophia Guerrera to Harmon. Wow, did you see that ball drop? That was incredible.
That
That
almost
came
had
over the
some
net hard
weird
and then like a
spin.
knuckle just dropped about 2 feet. Harmon couldn't handle it. This number 7's a player. Another serve. Harmon handles this one. To Rochette. Rochette pushes that one over. It's blocked. Wimpy pushes that to the back corner. Reset by Salem. Miscommunication by the Tide. 7-2. The Dogs. Correa to serve again. Harmon plays that one. Rochette to Wimpy. Wimpy drives that low. Point Tide! Maria Wimpy. Side out. Out comes Vandersea. In comes Daniels. To serve the freshman, Emma Ferguson. 7-3 Bulldogs. And that's out. It's 2 misfires by the young freshman. Last couple serves. See if she can regroup. Maybe the heat's getting to her. She doesn't look very happy. Back comes Vandersea. Tall to serve for Bedford. 8-3 Bedford with the lead. That's long. Point Tide. 8-4. Sevilleva comes in for Aeon. Sevilla to serve. Up front, Daniels, Harmon, Rochette. Back row, Sevilla, Vandersea, and Wimpy. Sevilla with a serve. Into the net. Ooh, that's 2 in a row. Tide have given Bedford 9-4. Maggie McCool to serve for the Gold Dogs. McCool to Wimpy. Wimpy plays that up to Rochette. Rochette outside to Harmon. Harmon drives that low. Bedford chases it down. They need to get it over. They do. Vandersea to Rochette. Rochette to Daniels. Daniels. Long. Point Bedford. Some good passing there by the Lady Tide. Just hit long by Daniels. Maggie McCool. Sevilla. Daniels gets her hands on it. Wimpy gets to it, but and gets it over. Incredible play there by Maria Wimpy. Rochette to Harmon. Harmon pushes that over. Point Tide! Incredible play there by Maria Wimpy. Nice set there by Rochette, and Harmon finishes it off. See if that can spark the Lady Tide some momentum. Out comes Harmon, in comes Weatherby. Can't wait to see that on replay. Weatherby to serve. 10-5 Dogs. Set back. And there's Daniels. Point Tide! Quinn Daniels. 10-6. Seems like whenever Weatherby comes into the game, she brings some momentum with her. The Lady Tide take advantage. Beautiful serve. Ace! Point Tide! Paige Weatherby. 10-7. That's to the back row. That's in. Point Tide! Ace! Paige Weatherby. 10-8. There's something about this Weatherby kid. She comes to play. Another beautiful serve there. Point Tide! Ace! Paige Weatherby.
It's that
10-9.
confidence.
Out comes number 14, Caroline Robinson. In comes 15, Maggie McCool to serve Paige Weatherby. Weatherby puts that to the back row. Ace! Paige Weatherby, point Tide, 10-10. Weatherby brings them all the way back. Another beautiful serve there by Weatherby. Bedford gets it over. There's a set back to Sevilla, to Wimpy. Wimpy pops that over. Played up by Bedford. There's a set to the middle. There's a block by Daniels. Into the net. Bedford. Point Tide! Quinn Daniels. Weatherby's on a roll. All the way back, and the Tide have the lead for the first time. That's into the net. And that's out. Point Tide! 12-10. Timeout, Bedford. Much needed. What was that, 7?
That was
I think it was 10-5. Weatherby comes in and rattles off 12 in a row, 4 of them being aces, I believe.
smart timing of this timeout by the Bedford coach, hopefully aimed at letting her players grab some much needed wind and
Regroup, settle them down.
regroup. Yeah.
Again, they're a young team, having only 2 seniors on the team. The rest are all juniors and sophomores. I believe the Tide are pretty young as well, right? How many seniors do the Tide have?
Tide has 4 seniors.
4 seniors. So probably balanced then, a balanced squad. There's Weatherby again to the middle. Bedford chases that down. They have to push it over. Vandersea gets to it. Rochette all the way over to Wimpy. Wimpy drives that down, played up by Bedford, there's a set to the outside. That's hit. Weatherby digs that one out of nowhere. Rochette can't get to it. Good dig there. Just out of Rochette's reach. Side out, Bedford. 12-10 Lady Tide. See if we can get a quick side out here. Bree Marcillo serving for Bedford. There's a serve to Daniels. A beautiful set right there. Daniels couldn't get to it, but that was perfectly placed. Vandershe gets to that one. Rochette chases that one down. Wimpy can't get to it. Rochette's running all over the place. She's putting some miles on tonight. 12-12. That's out. Point Tide! And they regain the lead, 13-12. In comes number 14 for the Dogs, Caroline Robinson. In comes the freshman, number 11, Emma Ferguson. To serve, Brenna Vandershe. 13-12, game 4. Vandershe to the back row. That's pushed up hard. Bedford can't get to it. They push it over. Point Tide! 4 hits. 14-12. I didn't hear no whistle. I was kind of nervous that they were stopping play before that whistle. Play to the whistle. Point Tide! Ace! Brenna Vandershe. 15-12. Tide starting to take control of the match. You can almost see the Bedford players a little discouraged right now. Vandershe drives that to the back row. Hard. Here comes Guerrera, and that's blocked by Emma, but out. Point Bedford. Ferguson was there.
That was a strong block by Ferguson, just needing to work on keeping it inbounds. And that's a tough one.
I'm pretty impressed by this young freshman and how much she really knows out there. She plays like a veteran. Served by Bedford. Vandershe comes up and plays it. Rochette to Wimpy. Wimpy drives that down. It's dug out by Bedford. Put over by Guerrera. Guerrera. Weatherby over to Rochette. Rochette to Wimpy. They get it over again. Bedford plays it up. Guerrera down the line. Point Bedford. 15-14. Lady Tide. Lady Tide are in a battle here this Monday afternoon. These Bulldogs are hungry. Even though they're 4-4, they're playing very well. Wimpy to Rochette, back to Wimpy. She drives that down, it's blocked. Almost picked off by Weatherby and then dug by Vandershe, but just out of her reach. And we have a tie ball game again, 15-15. Jasmine Atah to serve for the Dogs. To Weatherby, to Rochette, back to Ferguson. Ferguson pushes that one over. Here's a set to the outside, Guerrera. Oh!
I think Tide needs to
Bedford,
take a breath right here and regroup a little bit.
Regains lead, 16-15. I think you're right, Tanya. It looks like they're standing around all of a sudden. The last 3 points, they're kind of standing around again. And when they stand around, they don't look so good. A little timeout would probably benefit them well. Marimpi comes up and plays that one. That's out to Ferguson. Ferguson drives that one. Point Tide! She waited for that one and then put it away. 16-16. Sevilleva out. In comes Aon to serve Rochette. 16-16, game 4. Rochette, beautiful serve down the right side. Bedford back to the outside. Guerrera puts that down the line, and it's in. Bedford 17, Lady Tide 16. Back and forth we go. A little breather timeout would be nice here. We know Flowers doesn't like to call timeouts. To serve for Bedford, number 20, Jordan Starris. She's played well all day. Kind of quiet out there, but does what she needs to do. Serve to Weatherby. Weatherby to Rochette. Rochette to Ferguson. Oh, to Wimpy. Wimpy pushes that one. Bedford pops it up. They have to just pop it over. Rochette to Aon. Aon to Ferguson. Ferguson puts that down. Bedford keeps it alive. Ferguson again. Ferguson, a little tap war there between Bedford, and Bedford comes out the winner. 18-16, Bulldogs in the lead. Freshman could be a little fatigued. There's the timeout. The Lady Tide take a much-needed timeout, find themselves down at 19-16 here in Game 4. They were down early, battled back, took the lead. Now Bedford has shown their resolve and find themselves up 3. Tide come out of their timeout. Here comes Bedford. You got Aon, Ferguson, Wimpy up front. Rochette, Vandersea, and Weatherby in the back. The serve by Bedford. Vandersea. Rochette can't get to it. 20-16.
Concord's got a lot of ground to cover to catch up. They've got to tighten this up before the lead gets too out of control.
Vandersea, Rochette, Rochette to Aon. Aon, beautiful hit there. Bedford digs it out. They got to get it over. They do. Vandersea to Rochette, Rochette to Wimpy. Wimpy pops that one over. Bedford somehow gets to that one. They pop that up. They just got to pop it, and they can't. Point Tide! Bedford got a little lackadaisical on that one. Looks like the Bedford player hurt herself, number 20. Looks like she's going to try to shake it off. She is hurt. She's flexing that knee. The official's looking at her, make sure she's okay. Here's a serve by Wimpy. Bedford plays it up to the middle. They get that over. Harmon's right there. Rochette to Ferguson. Ferguson pushes that one over. Point Tide! The Frosh! Emma Ferguson, 2018. Tide battling back. The Cap with the serve. She pops that in there. Ace! Point Tide! Maria Wimpy. 2019. Bedford coach doing some coaching and some encouragement. The Cap to serve again, Maria Wimpy. Drives that to the back row, and that's out. Close one there, but they let it go. Smart play there by number 4. Jasmine Attar to serve, number 7. Sophia Guerrera. Rochette to Wimpy. Wimpy pops that one over. Dug out by Guerrera. There's the set to the outside. Hit. Point Bedford, 22-19. This Guerrera has kind of been the Weatherby of
For Bedford?
Bedford. She comes in to serve and she gets him on that run. Out comes Aon. In comes number 2.
Gracie Allaire.
Gracie Allaire, a senior. I can't believe she's a senior. Time flies. Harmon pops that up. Tracked down by Rochette. Harmon gets it. Drives it to the back. Ooh, just out. 23-19. Bedford. Concord's got some work to do now. But will Guerrera give it up? She's been solid all day. To Harmon. To Rochette. To the freshman. She pops it over. Bedford sets it to the middle. That's long. Point Tide! 23-20.
Concord needs to manufacture some plays here. Take this game
In comes
home.
Daniels, the Frosch to serve. She's had 2 tough serves in a row. See if she can concentrate and get this one over. She does. That's a set to the outside. She pops that one in. Harmon can't get to it. Point Bedford, 24-20. Bedford will serve for the win in game 4. Will the Lady Tide mount a comeback? Tall to serve for Bedford. Here's the serve, Tall to Wimpy, to Rochette. Rochette to Daniels. Daniels drives that down, played by Guerrera. 21 comes in, slams that. There's a big block by Daniels in Allaire. Point tie, 24-21.
That was a big play.
Not ready to go away. Big play. Out comes Allaire, in comes Sevilla to serve. She had a tough serve last time up. See if she can correct herself. Get the Lady Tide back into this game. There's a serve down the middle. Popped in there by the Bulldogs. Set to the outside, a little push. And the Bulldogs take game 4, 25-21. And we go to game 5. The Tide took the first one, 25-15. Bulldogs won game 2, 25-19. The Tide won game 3, 25-20.
Drawing a blank on that one.
I'm drawing a blank too. And then the Bulldogs take game 4, 25-21. Great action back and forth here on a very steamy Monday afternoon here at Concord High School. Again, the Lady Tide have a 7-1 record. They're at the top of the volleyball world in the state of New Hampshire in Division I. The Bulldogs find themselves at 4-4, and they're playing extremely well right now, like they're 7-1. The captains are meeting right now to talk about game 5. Okay, here we're back at Concord High School. Again, the match is tied up at 2 games apiece. This is game 5. It'll be played to 15. You got to win by 2. It's been an incredible match so far between both teams. Concord here again at 7-1, and the Bedford Bulldogs are at 4-4, but they're playing like they're 7-1. They're giving Tide everything that they can handle. The officials are going over the finalized rosters for the 5th game. Looks like we got Daniels, Rochette, and Wimpy up front for the Lady Tide, with Weatherby, Vandersea, and Sevilla in the back. To serve for the Bulldogs, number 20, Staris. She served well. That's to Wimpy, tracked down by Rochette. To Wimpy. Wimpy drops that over. That's going to be tough right there. But point Tide! That was kind of a long pass. I knew it was going to be a tough play for her, and she did go under the net. So the Tide take a quick 1-point lead. Out comes Daniels, in comes the Frosch. Number 11, Emma Ferguson to serve. Vandersea. Been some great action here this afternoon. There's another tough pass. Blocked up there by Rochette. Point Tide! Abby Rochette. 2-0 Lady Tide. Game 5. Vandersea. No one's there for Bedford. Point Tide! Brenna Vandersea. 3-0 Lady Tide. Beautiful serve there. Ace! Point Tide! Brenna Vandersea. And that's how you start a 5th game of a match tied 2-2. 4 straight points, 2 aces. A quick timeout by the Bedford Bulldogs. fatigue could play a part here in this hot night, huh, Tanya?
Absolutely, and this is where we're hoping the girls are hydrated and Concord doesn't lose any of their steam.
Concord definitely louder and fired up. I think the steam's kind of taken out of the crowd, too. They're kind of quiet here on this hot night, particularly it being a game 5. Bedford comes out of their timeout, regrouping. Took their instructions from Coach. Vandershoe drives that to the back row and long. So a good timeout there by the Bedford Bulldogs coach.
A strategic one at that.
Anna McGann. 4-1. Sophia Guerrera. She's been a nightmare all day for the Lady Tide. See if they can figure her out. And somehow the Bulldogs get that one over. Vandershoe to Rochette, Rochette to Wimpy. Wimpy pops that over. Quick Tide! Maria Wimpy! 5-1. Game 5.
That went off of the fingertips of Bedford.
And out of bounds. The Lady Tide girls stand on the bench to encourage their team. Alea checks in for the Lady Tide to serve Abby Rochette. Beautiful serve there. Drops that in. Bedford plays it up. This is to the outside. Vandershoe gets to that one, tracked down by Rochette to Wimpy. Wimpy drives that in there, played up there, and beautifully by Bedford, number 21. She pops that over. Rochette to Alea. Alea to Rochette. Popped over. Again played by 21 from Bedford. 15 pushes it over. Alea, that's going to be a tough one. Rochette almost gets to it. Point Bedford. As soon as you hit it, you knew it was kind of in no man's land. Could someone get to it?
That's a tough one. You're almost either in the net or under it.
I tell you, Rochette did a great job at just getting her hands on it without crossing over. She's been all over the place tonight. Putting some miles on. Tall to serve for Bedford. Puts that in there. Wimpy puts that over. Got a break there. There's the shot down. Maria Wimpy, point time!
That was a great
Huge
play.
block there by the senior captain. And the Tide get a needed side out there, 6-2, to keep the momentum going. Out comes Weatherby. In comes Harmon. The senior cap, Maria Wimpy to serve. There's the whistle. Played right down the middle by Guerrera. That's popped up back to Guerrera. She pops it over. Wimpy to Rochette. It's going to be tough. Rochette gets her hand on it, but they call a carry. Hit the palm of her hand. They consider that a carry. Now, if she would have punched it, it would have been in play, but because she used her palm, side out Bedford. 6-3. Into the net. Big unforced error there. Point Tide. 7-3 here in game 5. Out comes Vandershoe. In comes Daniels to serve. The Frosh. Emma Ferguson. Ferguson punches that over. Played up by Guerrera. 20 plays it to 25. She pushes it over. Alea's there. Rochette out to Harmon. Harmon puts that in there. That's driven back. Wimpy gets to it. Rochette again to Harmon. She punches it over. Set up there for the outside. To number 21. Almost a block. Somehow Maria Wimpy gets to it. Harmon back to Rochette. Rochette pumps that over. There's the set by 20. To outside 21. She just pushes it over. Abby Rochette gets to it, but out. Chased down by Alea, but out of her grasp. 7-4. Lady Tide. Out comes the Frosh. In comes Vandershoe to serve. Bree Mosillo.
Tide's got to hold on to this lead. This is a big side out hope.
Mosillo's played well for Bedford today. Vandershoe comes up and plays that one. Rochette back to Harmon. Harmon pops that over and gives it. Point Tide! Nia Harmon. 8-4. In comes Sevilla. Out comes Alea to serve. Sevilla. Say that name 10 times.
She has a nifty little routine before she hits. Little foot pop. There you go.
There's the serve. Nice serve there to the right corner. Here's the set to the outside. There's 7 Guerrero. Point Bedford. She seems like the go-to person for the Bedford Bulldogs. Played well all day. Out comes 25. In comes number 4, Jasmine Attar. In comes number 6, Ramu Tall. She's played a big role for the Bulldogs here today. Attar to serve. 8-5 Lady Tide here in game 5. Sevilleva to Rochette. Rochette back to Wimpy. Wimpy drives that over. Almost blocked by Bedford. They can't quite get to it. There's a set. Short. Vandershe plays it up to Rochette. Mia Harmon into the net. 8-6. Tide with the lead. Fans are starting to make some noise here in game 5. 2 games apiece. Wimpy to Rochette to Harmon. Harmon to the back row. Played up there nicely by Bedford. They got to punch it over. They do. Wimpy to Rochette to Daniels. Point Tide! Quinn Daniels with a kill. 9-6. Some great passing there by the Lady Tide. Beautiful set by Rochette. Daniels puts it down. To serve, Paige Weatherby. Weatherby, another beautiful serve. Ace! Paige Weatherby, point Tide! 10-6, game 5. The spark plug has entered the game. Paige Weatherby all day has given the Lady Tide a spark. Another beautiful serve there. Point Tide! Ace Paige Weatherby, 11-6. 5-point lead here in game 5. Paige Weatherby in control. Another beautiful serve to the back corner. Guerrero plays that one. Here's the set to the middle. That's a carry. Point Tide! Paige Weatherby, 12-6. That's to the far left corner, played up there by Bedford. They got to pop it over, they do. Sevilleva to Rochette. Rochette just dumps that one over. Comes up Vandershe, Rochette, outside to Wimpy. Wimpy hammers that one. Nothing you can do about that. The hammer came through. Maria Wimpy, point Tide. 13-6, timeout Bedford. We'll be back in a minute. We're back here at Concord High School, where the Lady Tide have taken a 13-6 lead. 2 games apiece. Paige Weatherby, the spark plug, is in, and she's running away with it right now. She gets it over the net. There's Guerrera, played up by Weatherby. To Rochette, outside to Maria Wimpy, point Tide! 14-6, Lady Tide have taken command of game 5. Again, game 5 is played to 15. You got to win by 2. This serve is for the game, the match. Weatherby gets it over. There's a set to the outside. Guerrero drives that one in and gets it over. Almost a beautiful block by Rochette and Daniels. Point Bedford, 14-7. Weatherby almost served out. Jordan Starris to serve for Bedford. She needs to run out here. She needs 8 points. That's out. Point Tide! And that's the match. The Tide take game 5, 15-7. So it's a great night here. It's a hot night here. It's a steamy night. The Tide looked at times lost out there, but they pull it together like they do every time. A great team win in this hot, steamy night. Tanya, you got something?
I want to thank all of our fans and thank Glenn for this colorful commentary.
Here we are. My name is Glenn Matthews, along with Tanya Rochette on camera. Again, Lady Tide go to 8-1 here at Concord High School. Glenn Matthews with Tanya Rochette, ConcordTV, channel 6 and 22, Concord Sports Station. Have a good night.